friends! This video is going to be a little bit different. In this video, I'm going to show you a glimpse into my life as a vintage booth owner. I'm going to show you a little glimpse of my booth space and what that looks like as I fluff it and add some things in for the upcoming holidays. I'm going to show you a project that I paint from beginning to end so you can see how that process goes, and also, of course, some thrifting and a good old thrift haul. So, jam-packed video, let's get started. First up, I have this old toolbox. This is a vintage toolbox, and my husband actually built one, a more modern version that he modeled after this toolbox. We love it when we put flowers in it, and so I wanted to make some for the shop that I could sell. And so he made this one. It's all sanded and ready for me to paint. And I took this vintage vessel. I've been finding a lot of inspiration from it lately, and I pulled the blue from this vessel and grabbed Fusion's paisley paint, and I'm going to be painting the whole box in that color. So you can see this is such a beautiful soft blue. I'm going to paint the whole box, and then I'll do some distressing and some waxing to give it a more used and vintage look. Fusion paint is really nice because it does have a built-in top coat, so you do not have to seal it if you don't want to. I usually seal a lot of my pieces anyways, just because I like a really extra durable finish. But this one I'm just going to be sealing the inside of it because there might be water splash from flowers and things. But the outside will be nice and sealed as is with this paint. I love this color. It's such a pretty soft blue. And then I went through and I distressed it. And I started here trying to hand distress it, but it was not doing what I needed to. Because Fusion has that top coat built in, it is hard to hand distress. So I went through and did a power sanding around it and got a little more distressed. And then I'm adding some brown wax. Usually I would put clear wax first and then brown wax, so it's easier to move around and erase if I need to. But I want this piece to really look dirtied and old. So I put the brown wax on first, and then I kind of buff it back where I need to in places. And this is what it's looking like. You can see the left side, I added the brown wax, and then the right side here doesn't have any wax and obviously looks much more fresh. So I like the look that the brown wax gives, just kind of dirties it up and gives it an aged look. And this is how it turned out. I love this piece with the pretty florals. I got some pinks for Valentine's Day, and I just think it turned out beautifully, a nice modern twist on a vintage piece. Next up, I'm going to be taking you into my booth for just a quick little refresh and to see what it looks like. Here is what it is looking like right before Valentine's Day. I've got some St. Patrick's Day in there. I brought a jewelry box and some other St. Patrick's Day things to add into my space. And here is how that all turned out looking. I did a St. Patrick's Day vignette up front and then a bigger Valentine's Day one in the back. And I like how that looks, and people can kind of hone in on what they're looking for and the decor that they're looking for. And I think it turned out nice. Next up, my husband and I took a trip up to Frederick, Maryland, and we hit the Goodwill there, which I had never been to this one before. It was a smaller Goodwill. The people there were very nice, but I will say that the prices were a little bit higher than I'm used to in my thrift stores, so I didn't get a whole lot here, but it was fun to look. I always love looking at the lamps. Those usually sell well. These trunks were really cool, and they were pretty good price as well, but I did not bring those ones home. My eye is always drawn to copper. However, this one was pretty beat up. It's hard to tell, and I didn't really like the handle. It felt really flimsy, so I left that one behind. This teapot, I'm always drawn to teapots, and I have sold this exact style before in my booth. They had so much glassware and cups, lots of sweet little vintage vessels. If I could bring them all home, I would, but I left lots of these behind. This was one of the more interesting things I've seen at a thrift store. It was a clock made out of a copper pan. I did not bring it home, but just thought I needed to show it off. I love these little trays. I have other things that are in the similar style. I thought that those were really pretty. Just kind of a nice like appetizer tray or for cheese and crackers and things like that, individual meals. I really liked these frames. I didn't like the pictures in them, but I did really like the frames. I left them behind, but they were a pretty good deal. Lots of copper or copper looking things. I actually put this in my cart and then I put it back because I realized that the body of it was not true copper. It was like a painted copper. So I put that one back. It also didn't like sit flush. And look at all these cups. Oh my gosh. So many cups. Lots of cut glass and crystal hidden in there in places. Some pretty mugs. I love these strawberry ones. I love this tea set, and I really wanted the teapot, but I felt bad with breaking up the set. I should have just taken the teapot though. So as you can see, Goodwill was kind of hit or miss. It wasn't my favorite thrifting trip for sure. I passed on a lot of things that I saw, some of those brass pieces, copper, because they were just too high priced for the shape that they were in. And I felt like some of them were kind of like a fakey brass too in some areas. The prices just didn't match what I needed them to be. But I did get a couple good pieces. So I'm gonna show you what I got. First up, at Goodwill, I found these really pretty strawberry cups, and they are Stafford Strawberry Patch Fine China. And I just thought they were really pretty, and there was a set of 8, and they're in perfect condition. I don't think they were ever used. There's no crazing or anything. They were $1.50 each. And so I have a bunch of strawberry pieces that I have picked up in thrifting lately, and so I got those to go with that. And then I also got, this is just a random teacup, but I just thought it was too pretty to pass up. And it's made in England. It's hard to see the whole pattern because these Goodwill stickers are just so darn big. But I just thought that one was too nice to pass up for $2.50. And then I found a whole set of different vintage vessels that had already been turned into hand-poured candles. And then I thought, well, hey, I've been wanting to try that anyways. And these ones smell good and they're really nice. And so I got a bunch of different ones. This one is Fine China, made in Japan, but I just like that it's a candle. I'm gonna try one of them first, of course, for myself and just like see how they do, see how it smells before I share them and put them in my booth. This one I'm probably gonna keep for myself. It's hard to see the pattern on there, those stickers. This one's from Bavaria, and it's got a nice candle in there. This one was a little more pricey because it's a bigger one. It's $3.50. Again, they smell really nice. It's made in Germany. This is another one, Farberware. Just think, so pretty. And these are already made for me. This is something I would love to do in the future, making my own hand-poured candles, putting them in vintage vessels. I think that's just a great way to use them. You can use the vintage vessel, burn it down, and then you can put it in the freezer and get any remaining wax out, and you have a really pretty vessel left over. So it's really reduce, reuse, recycle over and over again. And then the last one is this pretty little creamer, Stratford Fine China. Really nice. So not bad. They were all $1.50 except for the one that was a little bit bigger. And I mean, either I'll use them or I will sell them in my shop, but I think that they're really pretty. And then the last thing that I got from Goodwill is this little Brown Betty style teapot. I have sold these style before. I think they're really pretty with the hand painted detail on both sides. It was $6.50. I usually pay anywhere from $6 to $8 for teapots, so that fit right in that range. And this one's pretty dirty. It's gonna need a good scrub, but then it's gonna look really nice. That is the end of the haul and this really fun video. I hope you enjoyed getting a glimpse into my life, all the different things that I do as a booth owner. There's so much more that goes into it, cleaning and pricing and all of that, but I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse of what I did this week. So until next time, friends, happy thrifting.